Hi, this is Aparna here again, wanting to connect and share what we have been doing. Um, uh, you know, it is difficult to put out videos. We have been taught to hide, to shrink, to not really be out, in the public space as women in a patriarchal society. We are supposed to just do our work and stay silent. So it has been difficult to come out and talk on a video. Um, I think the many projects that we have executed over a period of 7, 8 years, I think the problem is the connection between the micro and the macro. So when we are talking of a building, then it is a micro space. It's a space which is in it's a micro space which is now needs to be connected to a macro space. So in the macro picture, the micro picture, so the dealing of the micro and the macro, the connection is a problem. So for example, if I am running an airport, then I'm worried about, you know 30 nautical miles around the airport. I'm worried about all the buildings which may be a threat to the aircrafts around 30 nautical miles. Uh, in contrast, if I'm an architect, if I'm a builder, if I'm an architect, then I'm only concerned about, my number of floors, my FSI, my floor to space ratio. I'm worried about all the smaller things, the size of the balcony, the size of the staircase, the lift room. So I really cannot imagine how, you know, zero point 0.5 meters will matter in the larger space. So, as an architect, I will think, I mean, how is it going to matter if I, have one lightning arrestor, if I have one extra meters on top? So, you know, unless there is an understanding, unless there is a reference to context, unless I'm made to understand that every half a meter is important, that that for an aircraft the risk of collision has to be less than 10 raised to the power minus 7, that there is a funnel, that there is that there are surfaces which have to be protected. Also, when new guidelines are being launched, then it is important to make all the builders, architects, all the urban planners as part of that. It cannot be taken without consulting all the stakeholders. So if there is a vertical space which needs to be protected, then that vertical space does not belong to one entity, which is the airports or the DGCA. It belongs to all the stakeholders, which includes all the builders, all the real estate companies. It includes every landowner, every architect, all the municipal bodies, all the utility companies. It includes all of them. So if I have to change a guideline, if I am part of the Airport Authority of India, I have to change a guideline, or I am from the Ministry of Civil Aviation and I have to change a guideline, I have to increase the length of the runway, or I have to design, get some new procedures on board, and that is going to change the criteria for permissible height, then I'm duty bound to inform all those who might be affected. Also, if I am changing a rule, then I cannot make it applicable before it is laid down. I cannot make the rule applicable in history. It will be applicable only from the time it is approved, published, and informed to all the stakeholders. And from that time onwards, that will be applicable. I cannot take it back in time. So there is a time factor, there is a communication factor, and there is a factor where the micro and the macro needs to be connected. There have to be meetings, discussions, workshops, whereby all the stakeholders understand what is the restraint and how best to optimize on that, so that the projects that they are doing is viable, that they do not suffer losses on account of air safety. Neither is the air safety is compromised, and neither is the losses for personal landowners or real estate companies or municipal bodies too great to bear. Uh, I think this is all I would like to share in this video. More next time. Um, I hope that this resonates with you. I hope that this makes sense to you. Please feel free to send your feedback to info@globalcoordinates.net. Bye for now.